Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. We are pleased to be here with Clarissa Jackman. She is the business recruitment specialist at the Neighborhood Works in Pocatello, good old Pocatello in Southeast Idaho. Clarissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited.
We're excited to have you. Before we begin, we always like to say that we are sponsored by Sensations. These guys are located in Twin Falls and Pocatello, located next to Gold's Gym. And given it's the holiday season and people are naturally transparent in skin color, if you want to look a little bronze, you want to look better, you go over there. You mentioned that you heard about them on the Idaho Business Podcast, and you get your first tanning for free. And they have so many other tools and the machines and red light therapies, everything you need to feel happy, healthy, and just good about yourself. So go give them a holler and make sure you get that free tan redeemed. So, Clarissa, you recently just graduated, about a year and a half ago. Am I correct?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. What time is it, real?
Idaho State University. And now you are this business recruitment specialist at the Neighborhood Works. Let's kind of a two-part question. First of all, let's start off with maybe something that a little known fact about yourself that's interesting and fun. And then after that, you can kind of give us a broad overview of what the Neighborhood Works organization is about.
Yeah, so I'm Clarissa. By my trade is art, actually. I'm an artist. So that's something unique and fun about me. I do artwork and graphic design, and I'm a social media nerd and all those kinds of things. So that's a little bit about me. About NeighborWorks Pocatello. We are a nonprofit in the area. We service all of Southeast Idaho. We are a chartered member of NeighborWorks America. So we're actually like a national nonprofit, and we're like a little section of them here in Pocatello. And we have a lot of awesome programs. We help people get into homes. That's actually how I bought my home. I bought my home about 4 years ago. They bought an old home from a lady that had lived there since until she was 104, something wild. Oh. And they redid all the plumbing and all the electric, and then they flipped it and they sold the house, and they helped us with our down payment. So they gave us 20% down in loans and grants. And so now we don't have to pay PMI, and we got in before the housing market went wild. So we're sitting in a good place because NeighborWorks helped us get into our home. So that's a big thing that we do. We have our Bonneville Commons project going on. So for Pocatello natives, Bonneville Elementary was flattened, and now NeighborWorks Pocatello bought that space and is now building a bunch of homes in that area that will be available for purchase sometime. Probably not for a while. They just barely started building. So probably not this year, but in the future, people can look forward to that. So we do a lot of work getting people into homes. We also help people who are already homeowners maintain their homes. So we have home repair loans that we offer. And we have, for people in mobile homes, we have mobile home repair loans that we offer. We have a halfway house called Spirit of Hope for people who are coming out of incarceration and need a place to stay. We have, we have home buyer education courses and free budget counseling and credit counseling, reverse mortgage counseling, lead testing, so many things. We have so many amazing resources. Wow. And we also have our community loan center program, which is small dollar loans that are supposed to encourage people to move away from payday loans. And we work with local employers with that, where we offer small dollar loans through the employer through payroll deduction, and they pay that back through payroll deduction to us, and it helps people who are in need.
Okay, perfect. I like it. So, Clarissa, what's one of your favorite parts about what you do within Neighborhood Works?
I love that I am helping people who might have not had the upbringing that would have made financial education and financial stability possible gain that. Like, I grew up in a home, I'm really passionate about it because it affected me personally.
Sure.
I grew up in a situation where my mom lived off of SSI. I have two brothers that didn't graduate high school. And because I got really lucky, I got good education, and I got my college education and this job and all these things that have helped me to like be a homeowner, be in a financially secure situation. But like, I have seen firsthand people that don't have access to that. And I personally, because of NeighborWorks, have been able to, I haven't made it yet.
Sure.
I still have quite a bit.
No, that's awesome though.
Out, but I think I just am passionate about helping other people do what I have done. So I love that I get to help other people to give back a little bit.
I love that, Clarissa. And I love to hear that too, because people definitely come from all walks of life. And it definitely takes a strong mindset to say, you know what, this is how I grew up, but this is not how I'm going to end my life. This is not going to be my story. And I like to see that. I like to see that, that you're pushing forward and that you're making something out of your life that you want to make out of it, and finding that happiness. So that's great.
Thanks.
Now, when talking about these loans that Neighborhood Works is providing, how can that benefit? I know you talked to me off air a little bit about this, but how can it benefit employers to retain good staff?
Yeah. So a little more about I'm going to just say CLC because it's a mouthful. It's the Community Loan Center Program of Eastern Idaho. So from now on, I'm just going to say CLC because that's shorter and easier. So our CLC program can be a huge benefit to employers because I think I explained this before, but I'm just going to kind of recap it again because I don't know if I did it justice. But so what it is it's up to $1,000 in a loan, and NeighborWorks funds the money, not the employer. So this might be really helpful to an employer if they've had employees come to them with asking for a loan or a paycheck advance or something like that. That happens a lot. And oftentimes employers are kind of putting their own money out on their pockets or just having to like turn their employees away when they're going through a difficult situation. And so we pick up that and we put our skin in the game. We lend them money so that it takes that burden off of the employer. But the employer still gets the benefit of supporting their employees and letting their employees know they care about that financial situation. And that can really help improve the morale in the workplace. If the employees feel like their employers are aware of their situation and they care about them and their finances, it can really help the employees be more present at work a lot of times. So the alternative to this is payday loans, and payday loans have interest rates upwards of 400, 500%. And oftentimes they'll take a car title as collateral. So either these people that go into these loans, they're either forced to give up their car because there's no way they're going to have $1,000 in 2 weeks when they didn't have $1,000 just now. So they're either and it's usually about a week or two, like a payday cycle, when the loan comes due with these payday lenders. And so if they don't have the money, which they aren't going to have the money 99 times out of 10, they're either going to give up their car or they're going to have to renew the loan. And then they're just continuing that cycle over and over again. And when that happens, if they lose their car, they can't get to work. Then you don't have an employee anymore. So that's going to hurt you. And if they are in this payday loan cycle, they're going to be using all of their wages from work to stay a slave to these payday lenders. And they're going to be getting calls from payday lenders at work. They're not going to be present at their job.
Sure.
I think I have like a statistic here. Oh, what was it? About 22%, or let's see, 83% of human resources professionals reported that financial stress is having a negative impact or some impact on employee work performance in their organization. I think the numbers they threw out were like 22% and 61%. But
wow.
The point is that I know from experience, if I'm experiencing financial hardship, I am not present in my other responsibilities. So that can really help employers to have a more productive employee force and have boosted morale at work if their employees know that they have somewhere to something to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I like that.
the biggest part of it, I think.
Well, especially when, there's a big population, especially within Idaho, that went from a 2-income household back down to a 1-income household. And especially now the holidays coming up, that puts extra stress on people. Cars need to be repaired at times to get to work, all that kind of stuff. So that's, obviously we'd want to preach, keep saving your money and doing that kind of stuff. But stuff happens sometimes and you just need a little extra help. So.
And the thing about these is, yes, you are spot on. I 100% would rather people not take out a loan for an emergency. I would rather they have an emergency fund. I would rather they have some reserves stored up. But the majority of these people, they lack financial education and they lack an emergency fund, and they're going to go to a payday lender anyway. So I would rather give them an affordable option that also segues into financial education and our other resources that can help them build a good financial house,
Yeah, that's true.
Then go to the predatory lenders. If they're going to get a payday loan anyway, come to us, right? So that we can help you get out of the cycle. Because I don't know. That's what I think.
No, I think you're right, and especially in Pocatello, and you see that throughout the different cities in Idaho, especially the smaller cities. You can kind of tell a city by how many payday loans you have on the main drag. Nothing against these owners of the payday loans and stuff like that. I'm just saying, it'd be nice, to be able to get more of these people more financially educated to help them in these situations for sure. So.
Yeah, I think we have something like 28 payday loan stores in Pocatello.
Yeah, we do. There's quite a bit, and there's quite a few in Idaho Falls. There's quite a few in Burley. There's quite a few, there's these, it's just interesting how it works that way. So, okay, well, that's a good thing for employers to understand and to know, and to be able to have a different avenue to help staff with that need. Because I know I even have friends that have other companies as well that they say, I'm giving payday advances here, I'm doing this there, and I hope that they stay because they could really screw me up if they don't, and then you deal with garnishments and small claims and all that kind of stuff. It's just not fun. So that's a good thing to deal with.
And when sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and if you are an employer and you're lending out this money to your employees, if you are doing paycheck advances or something like that, I can only imagine how that burdens the relationship between the employer and the employee. I know, I think about, there's been times where I've had to borrow money from my in-laws or something. And it's like, I just all I think about when I see them I owe them this money and I need to pay it back. And I can just imagine how much worse that would be between an employer and an employee. And if the employee has a hard time paying them back, the employer might start to get frustrated, and it totally just removes them from the actual point of the job, right? And I don't know. I would love also, I love the idea also of being able to relieve that burden off of employers so they don't have to get in the icky stickies of people's financial lives. We'll do it for you.
Sure. Well, now I know, in this day and age, people are, employers are trying to find good talent and good people to work for their companies. And I know it's tough and it's difficult right now. And I know there's this stigma, I guess. And I want to ask you because you'll know this firsthand. And it doesn't apply to you because number one, you're gainfully employed, you're well spoken, you're doing things right. You changed your stars in a sense. But I know from talking to many employers and people in the business community, they think, hey, this new generation that's getting out of college, they're entitled. They think the world owes them everything, and they just don't want to work the jobs that are out there. What is your opinion on that? Since you're in that group, even though you're not in that group, you went to college with that group and everything else. What would you say?
That, I mean, obviously I don't feel entitled, right? No. I don't know. I could always use more time, but I think there's some truth and some falsehood to that statement. I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I think a lot of people my age, and we can see by the labor shortages that are going on, they might be a little more picky about what jobs they're going to work. I know, like my husband and I have talked about we would like to be able to work normal, regular hours with a regular schedule so that we can be available for our kids and have dinner together in the evenings. Mm-hmm. And like, that's a really important theme that is going on in our conversations at home about our work-life balance right now, currently in my life. So I'm only speaking to my life, right? But, and a lot of these places, if we're talking, it depends on the industry, but just in my job, in my profession, I've been able to talk to some trucking companies, and I'm aware, I don't necessarily talk to a lot of fast food industries, but I'm aware of shortages going on there. And a lot of them, their schedules are a little bit difficult. And so a lot of our generation isn't, I would say, willing to work those tougher schedules, which I think is good and bad. I think it's good because I think we're realizing, wow, there are better opportunities out there. Like we can make good money and have good mental health and good work-life balance. Those opportunities are available. And I don't think we're sitting at home on our couch in our parents' basements, most of us. I think most of us are out there working our tails off in school or out in job interviews and such, trying to find those good opportunities that are going to maximize our mental health and our work-life balance. But that does leave these tougher, equally important industries to work in a little shorthanded. And so maybe you could say we're entitled and that we want an easier work-life balance. But we are working hard, getting a job that has good hours and good pay. It requires a lot of work. You have to dig for those things. You have to get your education. You have to be good at knowing what to put on your resume and getting out there in front of people and networking. And so I wouldn't say we're just sitting on our parents' couch being entitled, but I think we're looking for something better. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, good. It'll prove some people wrong. It'll help. Well, perfect. I like what I've heard so throughout this episode. But as we come to a close here, I need to take a quick sponsorship timeout, and then we'll come to our conclusion. Like always, we're sponsored by Fresh Prep Foods. These guys do a phenomenal job of creating healthy, delicious foods that are already pre-packed, and they will deliver, or you have conveniently located pickup locations from Burley all the way to Idaho Falls. And if you go on to the idahobusinesspodcast.com, click on their logo or their name, you can see their page that we have within the podcast. And if you enter the promo code Idaho Business as you sign up to get their meals, you'll get a meal for free, your first meal for free, and another meal to give to whoever you want. No strings attached. So go there, now that you're listening and make that happen. Give them a try, especially as we're trying to get healthier. The new year's around the corner. Don't wait until the new year to start. Start now. Okay, Clarissa. Thank you for all the information you've talked to us about today. I think there's going to be many that get a lot out of that, and I hope you get some calls from that. But I always like to say, ask a few questions right before we leave. So what would be maybe one of your best favorite books or tools or software you've used, and what is it that's kind of been that game changer for you?
Oh my goodness, I should have had I don't remember the names of anything. I have an audiobook app and I just, push play.
I know. Audible is amazing.
Hold on, I'm going to cheat. Let me look it up real fast.
Look it up. Yeah, it's good.
This is not related to what we're talking about at all, but there is a book called The Center Cannot Hold by Ellen Sachs. She's somebody who has schizophrenia, but the book is an autobiography about her experience with schizophrenia and overcoming it and getting on medication and going forward and getting her doctorate degree and stuff. And it was really inspiring to me. So what was the other question? That was the book one. Did you ask for anything else?
Just a book or a tool or a software. Just there's a bunch of ors to that. So if you have a software you use, you can let us know, or if not, no big deal.
I like Google Calendar. I think everybody knows about that one though.
Oh, that's a great one. Google Calendar, Google Notes. Can't live without those two. So those are great. Perfect. Well, what's one question I should have asked that I didn't?
Perhaps how people can get connected with me, or does that happen later?
That was going to be my last roll out the red carpet moment for you, but let's do it right now. Okay, what's the best way, if people are thinking, hey, this is an awesome opportunity for me, my staff, how do I get a hold of Clarissa?
Yes. So you can get a hold of me. I am so happy to take you out to coffee or come to your office. Usually I don't need to take more than 10 to 15 minutes of your time if we're just kind of giving you an introduction to our program and kind of getting your feet wet to see if it's something you would be interested in for your company. But you can get a hold of me at 208-232-9468. And my extension is 108. That's the NeighborWorks Pocatello office phone number. And my email address is cjackman@nwpocatello.org. And I would love to meet with you. The sign-up process is super easy. It doesn't cost employers any money. We take on all of the financial burden. I am there to personally train you on our loan servicing software. I think that the tasks that HR and payroll have to do take less than 2 minutes when someone applies for a loan. So it's very easy for employers, and the benefits are huge because your employers are going to feel supported. They're going to want to work there, and they're going to have what they need when they need it. And they're going to have access to more resources and financial education to get them into a better place. So
perfect. Well, this is the Idaho Business Podcast. So is there any cities within Idaho that you're not reaching out to right now from where you're located right now?
Yeah. So we pretty much service all of Southeast Idaho. So I'm probably going to forget a county, but I know we do Bannock, Bingham, Power, Oneida, Bonneville. There's probably a couple more that I'm not thinking about. But if you have, those are my territory counties. If you have a location within those territories, even if you have locations outside of them, as long as you have a location within my territory, we can lend to all of Idaho. Okay. We just focus on that area. So as long as you have a location there, we can do it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Clarissa. It was a pleasure having you on the podcast. And I'm sure many people are going to get a lot of good stuff out of it.
I hope so. Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Until next time, everyone, like always, stay away from the negative Nancy's. Misery just loves company. Go out there, conquer your day, and just go out and dominate. Until next time, everyone, adios. And thank you again, Clarissa.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.